we'll get started here, and as people roll in, I can catch them up or whatever. But, anyways, so hey, thanks for being here tonight. And for those of you that are watching this later, thanks for tuning in and taking the time to watch this. This is, I don't know, I think this is our first training night in quite a while. So, yeah, thanks for being here. Let me walk us through the night really fast, what this is going to look like, and then I'll pray, and then I'll actually hand it off to Ramsey to start us off. So, tonight we're going to walk through the why, a lot of the why behind what we do, as well as, so like, why do we do training nights like this? Why is it important? Why do we do what we do? Why do I ask you to do these things that we're doing? And a lot of that will come from mission, vision, and I'm also going to introduce values to you guys tonight too. So a lot of that will come from vision, mission, values, but we'll talk through the why, and then we'll talk through vision, mission, values, and expectations, and then we'll actually walk through every single position on the SOP. And you guys will be able to see it on screen, and we'll walk through that. But before we dive in tonight, let me pray, and then we can jump into the good stuff. So, God, thank you for getting us all here safe tonight with the crazy wild weather that we have outside right now, the thunderstorms and the rain. And thanks for keeping us safe. I pray for all of those affected in the Niles, Three Rivers area by the tornado tonight, that they can all be ushered into safety, and that you're just there and helping first responders and those clean up after the tornado. God, I pray that tonight is all glorifying to you, and that everything we do honors you. In your name, amen. And hi, Nate, welcome. To kick off the night, I am going to hand it over to Ramsey, and he's going to open us with our Devo.
Hello? Whoa. Okay. Wow. Yeah, this is weird. Okay. First off, how mad will it make you guys if I just hold the mic down here the whole time? Please? Okay, I'm not that dumb. I know. But I think it's kind of fun. Anyways, okay. So, I don't know. Ben and I meet with Zach Rumley, who I'm sure most of you remember. We meet with him every Friday for a little discipleship group, and we're going through a book which is about the life of Jesus, and currently where we're at, that book is following exactly what the pastors here are preaching on in the Gospel of John. So last week, Friday, we read the chapter which went over what Josh preached the previous Sunday about the flipping of the tables and stuff like that. So we got to talking about how this guy, Adam, who wrote that book, and Josh had preached a little bit differently on that chapter. And so, I don't know, I just started kind of going on a tangent and blabbing my mouth about how in the role that we're all in as working tech in a church, what tends to happen is we'll get so caught up in what we're doing, a camera, lights, sound, whatever, switching, producing, that like we forget about who we're doing it for. We forget about the one who gave us the ability to do what we are doing, and we forget to put Jesus at the center. I'm not accusing you guys of doing this. I'm just saying I'm sure it happens. It's happened to me. But I thought we should remember that we aren't doing this for me and Ben or for Jeff and Lori or Pastor Chris or Lifestream Church or the congregation. I mean, part of it is. But mostly we are doing it for Jesus. We're doing it for the one who gave us life and put breath in our lungs and gave us these skills and abilities. He gave us the ability to do what we do. Anyways, for the longest time, I struggled with doing that too. And I'd be so focused on whatever I was doing. I don't know, I'll say 2.5-ish years ago when, say I was on sound. When you're on sound, that is a good position where you're just listening to the music. You don't have comms, you don't have anything. But I wouldn't even worship. I wouldn't give myself the chance to worship. I wouldn't even think about who I was doing it for. I would put my job in front of God and wouldn't even think about him or the fact that I was doing it for him. And I mean, even still, I'll catch myself doing that sometimes. Not as much, but it still happens. So I think the biggest point I want to drive home is when we're serving on a Sunday morning, whatever we're doing, yeah, we're serving, but just because we're serving and making things happen doesn't mean that we're putting Jesus at the center of it. It doesn't mean we're doing it for the right reasons or in the right headspace, for example. And yeah, like I said, even though we're still here at church running a camera or audio or directing or doing slides or whatever, it doesn't mean that we're putting him at the center of it, and that doesn't mean that we're considering the fact that we're here for him. So I think the biggest thing is I think we should remember what we are doing and who we're doing it for. We need to remember the one that gave us these skills and the one who gave us the ability to put on a service for over 1,000 people every Sunday, in person and online. But at the same time, we need to remember that we aren't doing it for those 1,000 people. We're doing it for Jesus. And I wrote that I want to strongly encourage you all that the next time you're on tech to spend some time in worship, no matter what position you're running, while you're whatever it might be. Spend some time praising God for these amazing talents that he has blessed you with, and take some time to remember who you are doing it for. And another big point that I want to drive home is if you ever feel called in the middle of a service to go up to the altar or go pray with someone or whatever it might be, then do it. Don't feel like you can't because of what you're doing. I mean, it would be a little bit nice if you could tell Ben and I, but just let us know and we'll cover it for you, or we'll figure something out. So then you can go and worship and do whatever you need to do. And there'll be no shame. Staying in your tech position is way less important than spending time with or praising the Lord. So just, yeah, whatever it might be, if you need to go up to the altar or just spend some time in worship, then just do it. I thought that was going to take a lot longer, but that's it. But yeah, so just, it's a very, very important thing that we need to remember. We aren't doing this for anybody besides the Lord, and we need to remember that he's the one that gave us these skills, and we should be praising him and worshiping him for it. Okay, that's all. Thanks for your patience and listening, and now you can enjoy a long time of Ben talking.
Dude, that was fantastic.
Thanks. I tried.
Oh my goodness. Ramsey, that was fantastic. Seriously. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for writing that out and doing that for us. So, hey, let's jump in. But before I dive into our all the stuff we're going to talk about, I actually want to show you a video and then talk about some fun serving opportunities this summer. So, Ramsey, can you roll that video that's in there?
From 1919 to 1969, Lifestream hosted multi-week evangelistic camp meetings that would draw people from across West Michigan. Hundreds would gather. Countless lives were transformed. Eternities were changed. Generations were impacted. In honor of that legacy and in line with our mission, we will be hosting a 4-night outdoor evangelistic revival called Revive West Michigan from June 24th through the 27th. Each night, we will experience extended times of worship, creative gospel presentations, and clear, Christ-centered evangelistic preaching. I stand here in a snow-covered field behind Lifestream, and we are going to call this the Field of Dreams. In June, this field will be transformed into a place of worship, prayer, and true spiritual encounter. We are praying that all who attend this event will encounter and be transformed by the power and presence of God. And we are praying that God will bring people from all over West Michigan to have a profound spiritual encounter right here in this field. I don't know if you can see it. I mean, can you? Can you see the lives of families changed? Can you see the marriages being restored? Can you see people being set free and liberated from addictions? Can you see it? The people coming forward to receive Jesus as their Savior, those who will step into the waters of baptism, those who will recommit their lives to Jesus. Can you see it? Psalm 85 verses 6 through 7 says this, "Will you not revive us again, O Lord, that your people may rejoice in you? Show us your unfailing love, Lord, and grant us your salvation." Revival is coming. Revive West Michigan. 4 nights, 4 stories, 1 hope, Jesus. Family, what an opportunity we have. Revival is coming. And do not forget, you are loved, and so is the world.
So Revive West Michigan. This has been Chris's dream, and it's been put on Chris's heart to do this for, I want to say probably close to a year now, kind of since Backyard Summer Night last year. But, so I just want to share a few things about Revive West Michigan. As you heard in the video, 4 nights, 4 stories, 1 hope. This will be a Wednesday through Saturday event. And I'll get to Sunday in a moment. Sunday is still happening. It's just going to look a little different. But I'll get to Sunday in a moment. Each night there will be worship and message from 7 to 9 with food and some fun beforehand, starting at 5:30. And Ramsey, you kind of just go through the slides as I talk about stuff here. There's some food and fun beforehand, starting at 5:30. So first, I want to invite you guys to come to this. I think it'll be a fantastic night. It's going to be a great event, and we're really expecting God to move, and for people to know the gospel and to know the story of Jesus. However, with an event this large, we are going to need all hands on deck. There are a lot of ways for you getting involved with production, but also elsewhere. So right now, I'm planning on. Sorry, I'm reading off my notes and I just lost my spot. Right now I'm planning on the ability to do IMAG, so to have cameras on screen, so people further in the back can see what's going on, similar to what we do on the side screens on Sunday morning. That's what we call IMAG if you have not heard that term before. However, we're not streaming any of these nights, so they're not going to be streamed. I am at the moment playing for 4 to 6 cameras, 2 manned, 4 static. So I'll need 2 manned cameras, front of house, slides, switcher, and director. Each day and night, we will also need to set up and tear down. Just due to it being an outdoor event in the summertime and dew and frost and that kind of stuff, and also just kind of equipment security. There's a few things, there's going to be quite a bit that we're going to have to just kind of take down and bring inside for the night, so we preserve our equipment and that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in serving at any of these nights, there's going to be a QR code in a couple slides that you can scan to sign up. As for Sunday, go ahead and go to the Sunday one, Ramsey. So the Sunday one is our 175th celebration. So this is our, this year, if you don't know, haven't been paying attention the last 2 months now, this is our 175th year as a church. And so that Sunday, after the Saturday, we're going to be doing our services outside. I don't know if it's going to be 2 services or if it's going to be one big service yet, not sure. But it's going to be similar to a backyard summer night type thing, where we kind of have services in the morning and then kind of just some fun and games into the afternoon. So I'll need 4 cameras, front of house audio, broadcast audio, switcher, producer, director, and slides. Ramsey, go ahead and go to the next slide. If you guys are interested, I'll give you guys a few minutes to scan that QR code and fill out the form now. I will also send it out in an email after sometime next week. And I will send it again as we get closer to the event. So don't feel like you have to do it right now, but if you want to do it right now and just if you are like, yes, this is something I want to be a part of, feel free to grab that QR code and fill that form out. It should only take you a couple minutes. It's not very long, I promise. Not like some of the other forms I've had you guys fill out. And for those of you watching later, I will link the form in the email that has this video. And I'll probably actually put it on screen for you too. So it's probably going in front of my face right now, actually. Oh, nice. I was almost saying that as an editing note for myself later, but hey, that works. The cringy YouTube thing that people do. Hey, there should be this thing going in front of my face right now, and then it appears. Yeah, right, exactly. Let me know when you guys are done filling that out. No, not gonna sing. This is why I'm on tech and not the worship team. Also, I apologize if I just mute my mic and bolt at some point. I'm waiting on a semi-important phone call. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Oh yeah, you will have to fill out the form twice if you want to serve for both the Wednesday through Saturday and the Sunday. I should make that mention. It's not a different form. I think I just put different options. I put the 2 different options in there. So I think I said, do you want to serve for? Oh, I did have an option for both? Good job, Ben. I did think ahead. Well, then I guess you don't have to fill it out if you want to serve for both. Just hit the both option. Obviously, I have not looked at this form in a couple weeks. Cool. You guys cool if I move on? Cool. Denise, I see you're still working, so. Oh, okay. No worries. Keep doing it if you want to, but anyways. So as we dive in, just kind of feel free to stop me and ask questions, give feedback and pushback. My goal is to once a year have a night like tonight where we walk through the why behind what we do, as well as make sure we're all on the same page. Whether some information that I'm going to share tonight is not new to you guys, especially some of you that have been on the team for a while. But some of it, there is some new stuff, updates to the SOPs and some of that. But But I also want to say that some of the information I'm sharing tonight, I have taken from other churches as well as a couple of leadership conferences. So it's not all my work. I have taken and adapted for us. And most of this information has come up through tension points, previous leadership, and then current mission and vision, as well as prayer and discernment. So first, I want to start with a quote from the Church Leaders Conference. Ramsey, if you go to the next slide, I think I have that quote. No, I do not have that quote. Okay, go back. We'll save that for later, for in a minute. So the quote says, "The church should not be a place where creativity goes to die, but all too often this is the case." And this is why I want to have a night like this. Why? Why is this important? Why are training nights important? Why is serving on the production team important? Why is our creativity important? How does it lead people into worship? Why does it matter? And now I'd like to start in Genesis 1:1. So Ramsey, go to that next slide. So in Genesis 1:1, it says, "In the beginning, God created." In a church, we are supposed to create. Unfortunately, a lot of times we come to church to production or graphic design or worship, and for some reason or another, creativity just kind of falls through the cracks. Now, it's not saying we should be creative, like hyper creative and like not be authentic, but we can be creative and still be authentic. So if you skip over to verse 27, it says, "God created human beings in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them." I did not expand on that, so I'm going to cut that out of my notes. If you jump to the next slide, Ramsey. Exodus 31:3 and 35:10 say, "I have filled him with the Spirit of God, giving him great wisdom, ability, and expertise in all kinds of crafts. Come, all of you who are gifted craftsmen, construct everything the Lord has commanded." To jump back to Ramsey's Devo a second, the Lord has given us these abilities, and we are gifted in these abilities, in tech abilities. But tech is creative. We are being creative when we are serving, and we're also worshiping God when we serve. And so it says, "Come, all of you who are gifted craftsmen, construct everything that the Lord has commanded." So following our gifts and our call to serve in tech, because that's what we've been gifted with, that's what we've been created with. And we're doing it for him, just as Ramsey touched on in his Devo. Next slide. "Just as our bodies have many parts and each has a special function, so it is with Christ's body. We are many parts of one body, and we all belong to each other." That's Romans 12:4-5. So yeah, we're all a part of the body of Christ. Tech is one, and production is one area of the body of Christ in which we can help. In our bodies, honestly, we probably are a finger or two, but our fingers do have function. Like, they help us grab things. They help us grab water bottles and phones, and we can touch things and feel things. And so we are as much a part of the body as the worship team, as kids ministry, as any other part of the church and of the ministry of the church. We just play a role in it. And so if we can work together with the other parts of the body, we will have one very well hardworking body that is honoring and glorifying to Christ. Next slide. So all of us who have had the veil removed can see and reflect the glory of the Lord. And the Lord, who is the Spirit, makes us more and more like him as we are changed into his glorious image. So part of serving means we're pouring out, which means we also have to pour back into ourselves. So if we're not taking time to worship and to jump back to, again, what Ramsey said in his Devo, take time to worship while you're serving. But even when you're not serving, be here, be in church, be filled with the Spirit, be refreshed. because he makes us, the Spirit makes us more and more like him. And that's how we continue to grow ourselves, is if we ourselves are putting the work in to be refreshed, reading our Bible, actively pursuing that relationship with the Lord. So, give me a second. I don't have all of my documents pulled up. Ramsey, I don't remember if I have slides for what I'm about to talk about next. Nope. You can hold off on that for now. So as we jump into like tech in general, years ago, some of you might remember, I don't actually know how long ago this was. It was years ago because Jaden DeGroat was in this video and he was very young. You might remember we made a video of why do we serve in tech. It's on Facebook somewhere. I don't know how old it is. 2021. Okay, so not years ago. That was only 5 years ago. Which, guys, that feels like a long time ago, if I'm being honest. But you might remember that video. And it walked through some of the practical and theological reasons on why we serve. So Lori actually found the notes that she wrote for that and sent them to me, so I'm going to share them here. Tech is used as a tool to promote and enhance worship in church. Why haze and lighting? The practical reason in using haze and lighting, haze gives mass and definition to lighting, and it allows us to use lighting as scenery. And so that's why I talk about the colors that we choose, the effects that we do, that kind of a thing with our lights. It all has a purpose. It all draws people in, depending on how you're using it. And so like more moody colors like purples and pinks and blues will really draw people in and make people reflect. Whereas more bright colors like your yellows and oranges are more like energetic, like let's praise, that kind of thing. Let's jump around and get funky. But the theological region actually exists in Exodus 13:21. After Moses leads the Israelites out of their captivity in Egypt, God appeared to the people as a pillar of cloud. The pillar went ahead of the people by day to guide their way, and a pillar of fire by night, and gave them light. The cloud would descend and cover the tabernacle, and the Israelites would not leave camp until the cloud moved. Light stands for holiness, truth, and understanding, and the light Jesus brings guides us and protects us. Christ's light shines in heaven. Having appropriate lighting and haze can keep people from being distracted and feel more comfortable and less conspicuous around large groups of people. Lights can be used to direct people's focus. So I'll take our moving heads, for example, which are not out because we're working on a game plan for those. We actually pulled them because we had some people find them distracting, so we just pulled them off. We haven't had time to reset them yet. And so lights can be used to direct people's focus. So that's why we made our pixel sticks. I should have turned these lights on so you guys could see them better. But that's why our pixel sticks, if you look, they look like arrows pointing up. And that was to signal our focus is towards the cross and towards God. If you noticed at Ash Wednesday service, we had the cross back here out on stage. I don't know if there's a light on it or not, but most weekends we try to light the cross so people draw their attention to the cross and are reminded of that. And so appropriate lighting and haze can enhance the scenery on the platform in a similar fashion as light, or as the cloud guided them, guided the Israelites. Light also enhanced stained glass windows. And so, if you think about middle-aged cathedrals, they were filled with stained glass, bold, bright colors, and art. This was not a way to show off its extravagance, but it was used in the beauty of their surroundings to give people hope. And the light that flooded in from the outside really made those images pop. Hey, thanks for doing that. That's really bright now. But hey, yeah, you can see the pixel sticks better. So all that to say that inappropriate lighting can be a distraction to the congregation, which is why we ended up taking our moving heads out when we did. The lighting haze should not dictate mood because worship is not a mood. Worship is a heart posture. Some people may be weary or untrusting, or wary or untrusting of the smoke and mirrors, and can mistake haze and smoke as a symbol of deception. But if used improperly, people can take it that way. And as we kind of move into sound and video, the practical reason is simply put, to hear people and to communicate to the congregation. If the pastor is the mediator between God's word and the congregation, the sound person and the video person are the mediators between what is said or sang on the platform to the congregation. Our sound and media, our slides and camera and switchers, you guys are those mediators that allow the folks watching online to see what's happening on stage, in the room, videos that we're showing, people worshiping, mobile cams. You guys are huge in showing the congregation, showing what's happening in the room, showing people worshiping. Now, we should not be focused on individual people in the congregation, but large groups of people, hands raised, those kinds of shots really show the online folks what's happening in the room. It also invites them to worship and invites them to raise their hands. Because the fact of the matter is, the more that people see hands raised, the more willing and the more willing they're going to do it. They're not going to feel as, I don't know if scared's really the right word, but uncomfortable doing it. If there's other people around them doing it, they'll actually feel like, yeah, hey, maybe I can do this. Maybe this is a way I can worship. And so the lights, the sounds, videos, and everything, it all has to work together. Everybody on the team plays an important role in bringing the message to the congregation. This still reigns true from when this was written, but the percentage of people watching online has gone up dramatically within the last year. I don't know, I don't have exact numbers off the top of my head, but in the last year and a half, we've gone from 350 to average to, I think we're averaging between 500 and 600 right now. And I really want to say we're averaging on that higher end of 600. And so we have an online church community that watches from all around the country. I just talked to Amy the other day to see where we had some people watching online from, and one of them said Iowa. She said one of them was watching from Iowa, which is a few states east that way, which is really cool. So we're reaching people, from across the country, and they call Livestream home, even though they're thousands of miles away. Florida's another state that has a large group, because a lot of our older congregation, they go down there in the wintertime and watch with groups of people in their homes. I've heard multiple stories of that happening. And then when people see us serving, they see that we have an intergenerational team. I mean, for you guys here in the room, you guys know, and you guys while they're watching this back later, we have anybody from 7th grade all the way up to Tim. Sorry, I don't know how to. Tim, I promise I'm not calling you old. I didn't have a good way to explain it. I did not have a good way to explain that. I'm sorry. I promise I'm not calling you old, and you are a valued member of our team. But people like Tim and Scott and others who have been not only on the team, and Mark, who have not only been on the team for a while, but have been a part of this church for a while. I mean, Scott, seems like every time I talk to Scott, he tells me a story of, I bring up something from the past, and he goes, oh, yeah, I remember that. I I was like a wee little kid, but yeah, I remember my dad or my parents or my grandparents or something, I remember being there and all that. And Tim, you and I have had plenty of conversations about Ron Kelly, of all people, being in and around and coming back and all that. But so we have a very intergenerational team, and so we have a voice. You guys all have a voice, creatively, actually. You guys are all creative people, whether you think you are or not. It takes mixing, for example. It takes precision and craft and creativity to really be like listening for what should stand out, what we need to cut out. But it also allows for like creativity. It allows you to be creative and hey, I'm gonna try this, or I'm gonna push these. This wouldn't be normal, but I'm gonna push this instrument up and focus on let this instrument lead a little more. We don't have a lot of windows. I'm gonna jump back to the windows here for a second. No, actually, hold on. Colossians 3:23 through 24 is one of the core foundations, actually, of our tech team. I don't know if you guys knew that. I didn't know that until I started reading through this a couple weeks ago. But let me pull it up really fast because I don't remember what that verse says off the top of my head. Colossians 3:23 through 24. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward, it is the Lord Christ you are serving. So, again, it ties back into Ramsey's Devo, but we're not doing this for us. We're not doing this for our congregation, in a sense. We're not doing it necessarily for Jeff and Lori or Livestream or Chris. But we're doing it as a service to the kingdom. And so I mentioned before that cathedrals in the Middle Ages were filled with stained glass windows. Well, if you take a peek around the worship center, guys, we don't have a lot of windows in here. We don't. And so our use of lights and haze help bring in the light and the color like the stained glass windows. It represents hope. It gives people an opportunity to see and to feel connected. But, on the platform, the haze and the lights really give definition and really tie back into the Exodus passage with the Israelites in the cloud. That's why we have haze and lighting, honestly. Sound engineers, I'm picking on you really fast. I'm sorry. But we are, as sound engineers, and I'll throw myself in there too, we're the first people that people turn back when something goes wrong. But, which is not a bad thing, it's just how it is. But actually, again, if the pastor is a mediator between God's word and the congregation, we're the mediators between what is said or sang on stage and the congregation. The congregation has to hear us. Ramsey, if you mute my mic a second, because I'm just going to leave my mic on. So, those of you definitely that are watching this back definitely couldn't hear me. I'm sure you guys couldn't hear me all that well. If you sat up in the loft or in some of these sections over here further back, you probably wouldn't be able to hear me that well. And so we have to make sure that people can understand the words that are being sang and the words that are being said on stage. And then as media operators, we're responsible for much of the visual content sent to the screens in-house and online. Song lyrics, sermon slides, videos, and cues for the team on the platform. the online congregation wouldn't know what Chris's notes are if we didn't have a slides operator and a video switcher. And they definitely wouldn't know the lyrics to the songs if we didn't have a slides person. And nor would the congregation know what the lyrics to the songs are either if we didn't have a slides person. You guys wouldn't have all these notes behind me if we didn't have slides people. So slides is again as important as any other part of the team. I think that's all. I should have, and I wish I edited this more, but the last couple weeks have been kind of crazy. So, Ramsey, you can go to the next slide now. So, mission and vision, all that to jump into mission and vision. Go ahead and go to the next slide, I think. Yeah. So, our mission, which I know this is still very new. So, to create authentic and impactful media experiences that invite all to encounter and be transformed by the power and presence of God. Through an excellence in production, a spirit of collaboration, we seek to inspire, engage, and foster meaningful connections that glorify Him. Vision, to see lives transformed and faith deepened as people encounter God through authentic, high-quality media that inspires and connects in powerful ways. Again, just reminders on what our mission and vision are. But we really do want to create authentic and impactful media that invites people to encounter and be transformed. Again, the way we mix, the lights we choose, the camera shots we set up, all of that, we want to glorify God, and we want people to be transformed through those encounters. So all that to jump into our values, so this is new. So again, feel free to jump in, ask questions whenever. Just shoot your hand up and I'll get to you. Yeah, Ramsey, go ahead and go to the next slide. So worship first. We serve from a heart of worship, not just technical skill. What we do behind the scenes is an act in praise to God. And so I'll encourage you, again, worship while you serve, just as Ramsey was mentioning. Raise hands, sing along, be engaged. Yes, do your responsibilities and do them to the best of your ability. However, also worship. Make sure we're serving from a heart of worship, not just, hey, I am doing this because I have the skills to do this. Do this because we actually want to be authentic in serving and using the gifts that God has given us. And as we worship, we are as much a part of the worship team as anybody else that is on stage. If the congregation sees our hands go up, they'll respond just as much as the worship team raising their hands. We are leading worship, and as much as I try to, I don't know if I've really tried to push this a whole lot, but and I wish I would have more. But worship, just be in the moment. Anyways, next one. People matter most. So we value people over perfection and growth over mistakes. Grace, encouragement, and support define how we serve together. So breaking news, we're not perfect, in case you didn't know that. We never will be perfect, and our services will never be perfect. There's always something that, oh, we could have done that better, or hey, we missed that, or whatever it may be. But I value you guys as people more than I value your skill set as a volunteer. If your hearts are not in it, I don't want you on the team. If your hearts are not full, if you are burnt out, take time away. Let me know. Step away for a while and then come back. And that's why I really try not to bug you guys a whole lot and try to make these things not too long either. But giving each other grace and encouragement and supporting each other really define how we serve together. a great example of this. Ramsey, I love you. Listening to you on comms last weekend, I wish I had this recorded. I really wish I did. Was so fun. Every time you had camera operators do something fantastic and wild, you're like, yes, exactly that. That's awesome. I love that. It's fun to hear that come over comms. It's just fun to hear you get excited too. Yeah, no, you were having fun. You should be having fun. This is fun. It shouldn't feel like a job. This should feel like fun. I love that he was saying that every time he called a shot and it worked out like he envisioned it. He's like, yes, that's fantastic. And camera operators, when they hear that, man, it's gonna drive them to continue to find some of those shots and continue to doing what they do. Yeah. Next one, Ramsey. One team, one mission. Every role matters, and we succeed together. But by succeeding together, we also fail together. I didn't write that in there, but it's implied. We communicate well, honor one another, and support the mission of Lifestream Church. And so, yes, we are the production team. We are one team, but we support the overall mission of the church. Part of our role in everything we do supports the overall mission of the church, so that all can encounter and glorify God. I don't think I have to say much more on that. Next, faithful and always growing. We serve faithfully, whether seen or unseen. We remain teachable, dependable, and committed to continual growth. So yeah, one of the things that you guys have noticed I've started doing is sending you guys emails with feedback. I'm sorry I did not get to that this week. For those of you that served last week, on the 1st, because I know those that are watching later are probably watching this 2 or 3 weeks down the road. So sorry about that. This week has been crazy, and I actually have a chance to get around to it. So, but for those that are on this weekend, next week I will get back to that. I'll get back to sending emails. But when I send you guys those emails, it's feedback on honestly what you guys can do better, and also just positive things. And so I hope that you take that in a teachable spirit and continue to grow your skill set based on the feedback I give you. Now, you can always email me with questions, ask how you can be doing better to any time. But a lot of my feedback that I give you will come in those emails and notes. So with that said, guys, we're doing a fantastic job. Our production value is far above a lot of churches in this area still. And I know we're running, we have a tight volunteer list right now. It makes some weekends tight and tough. But you guys are seriously committed to just making it happen, and I really appreciate that. And most of the time, people don't know that we exist, simply because nothing goes wrong, which is great. I'm sure they wonder how everything goes on, and it's a fun opportunity for me to tell them, but and explain to people who we are. But we are seen or unseen, and we serve faithfully every week. We don't always get recognition. Chris is very, very appreciative of all the work that we do as a team, and he loves getting to serve with us. So, Ramsey, you can jump to the next one. So, just expectations. These are a little more tightened up, succinct, summarized. But character first. So, as I said before, who you are matters more than what you do. When serving and interacting with others, we represent both the production team and the church as a whole. So the shirts we wear say Lifestream Church on the front and Tech Team on the back. We're representing both, but ultimately we're also representing God. It's funny, Ramsey and I and Zach just had a similar conversation today. kind of similar to this. But people who, if they're first-time guests or they might be new to the church or whatever, they are looking to how people interact. And sometimes it's a good image, sometimes it's not a good image. And people can be turned away by bad interactions with others. And what I don't want to do is turn people away from the church because of a bad interaction or something. And so who you are matters more than what you do. I love you all, and I appreciate your service. But you guys matter more than your skill set. So I hope that with that you would tell me if you need a break of some sort or if you just need some weekends off to recoup and to just sit and worship. Next one. Present and focused. Phones should be silenced and put away during pre-service meetings, prayer service, and debriefs. That also goes for like talking with those of us, with the team members too. As much as we can, focus. There's obviously, you guys know when there's times to have fun and talk and chat. As we get closer to service, and definitely during our pre-service meetings and debriefs, just be respectful of that. And I don't think I have to say too much more on that. But it is also important that you are here for prayer at 7:30. That's a great time. We enjoy getting together with the worship team and praying with them and centering ourselves in God's presence before we serve and have services. Next one. Yeah, so just clear communication. If you're late or if you're not going to make it at all, just let me know. It's simple as that. That also goes for comms lines too. Just keep your comms lines clear as much as possible. If you're not supposed to be talking, don't talk. As much as we can with the wireless headsets, just flip your mic up if you're not talking. Seriously, I cannot wait until we get a new comm system because, guys, the button will be right on your ear. You can just press the button and talk and then let go and leave your mic down. It's going to be so simple. We will have a training night when that all gets installed. So you guys can have a chance to look at them and feel them and work with them. But it's gonna be loads better, I promise. There won't be a nasty buzz in your ears anymore. Yeah, I haven't figured that one out yet. Next one, Ramsey. Commitment and reliability. Just accept or decline your PCO request by Tuesday of your scheduled week. Again, no call, no show, or repeated unresponsiveness follows that 3-strike policy I've laid out before, and may result in temporary dismissal from the team if we get that far. Guys, we have not really had a whole lot of issues with this, but I really don't like having to text you guys on Sunday morning and say, hey, where are you? If you are running late, just let me know. Next one. Early is on time, prepared and punctual. Early is on time is late. Required rehearsals. As you guys know, Thursday at 7 for media, broadcast audio in front of house. And then Sunday mornings at 7:30. Everyone needs to be here, camera ops and switchers included. The prepared piece of that is one, showing up, but two, also knowing what's happening in service, reading through the roadmap that Lori sends out, listening to the songs that we're going to do this for the coming weekend, just doing everything you can to be prepared for the weekend. Not a requirement, but directors, if you want to come to Thursday nights, you absolutely can. Mark, I know you typically show up on Thursday nights if you're directing. I'm sure you find that very helpful going into Sunday morning. So at this point, I'm not going to require it for directors, but if you can, directors on Thursday night, make it. Come take some notes, ask questions. Be here, see how it runs. But again, I'm not going to require directors to be here on Thursday night right now. That also goes for switchers and producers. Mark, again, I know you typically show up if you're switching or producing too. and I'm sure that's helpful too, is you kind of get to see a layout of what's going to happen on Sunday and can start thinking through camera shots. I know that not everything translates from Thursday to Sunday, and even Sunday morning, sometimes we change things and don't get to see all the transitions, but you at least get 95% of it. And then the other 5% you have, for switchers and producers, you guys have camera A to rely on, so because that shot will never change and will always be good, as long as we remember to adjust the focus before we start services. Yeah, next one, Ramsey. Yeah, excellence in all things. Again, this comes out of Colossians 3:23 through 24. So how you do anything is how you do everything. We pursue excellence in preparation, execution, and attitude. Next one. Just serving from overflow. So how you serve actually reflects your walk with the Lord. Prioritize worship and serve from a place of spiritual health, not burnout. As someone who has been burnt out in the past, I probably hit it very well because I know myself. I'm really great at hiding things. It is not a great place to be in. The times I've been burnt out, I dread getting up on Sunday mornings to come and be there. I usually hide it really well. I hide things very well. But I know that I don't want to be there, and there have been times that I've been burnt out and still served anyways, and it did not do good things for me. So all that to say, serve from a place of overflow and health. And then next one, I kind of touched on this already, but comms discipline. Next one, Ramsey. Just keep your comms microphones muted when you're not talking, and then just watch your voice levels when you're in the booth and hanging out over at camera 2, as to not distract in the congregation. Because people, if we talk loud enough, can hear us in those front couple of rows in front of the tech booth. And then especially, too, like mobile cams as you guys are roaming around and hanging out backstage, waiting for table or whatnot. Just keep your voice low. Usually a whisper is a good rule of thumb. Now, let's jump into our SOPs. Fantastic. Ramsey, when you get back to the booth, no rush. Feel free to throw up super source. That I don't know if that's going to be the best way to see this or not. For those of you watching later, or I can overlay pictures or whatever. Depends how much I actually want to do. Thanks. So, if you haven't had a chance to look through this document, there's printed and laminated copies at every station. Every copy, or every station has this introduction page, the title page, the general procedures, review and revision, and then depending on what position it is, has the specific position. So I realized that about a year ago I sent this out, and we didn't do a training on it. I just said basically, hey, figure it out. If you can read this and understand it, then you should be fine. But I didn't actually walk through any of the reason why I did it. But so that's part of the reason we're having tonight, is to walk through this. There are some positions that I did update some wording, some responsibilities, so those are not reflected in the printed copies. And it's on my to-do list to actually print the updated versions of the positions that I updated to get out to you guys. However, you all have access to this. You all have a link probably way back in your email. I can send it out again. I'll send it out again, attached to the email that I attached this video to, so you guys can see it. I should also I'll make a QR code too and put it in the production room so you can just scan it and go to it at any point too. Because QR codes are apparently becoming one of my favorite things right now. Let's jump in. Sorry, all that rambling just to jump in here. So this document serves as the standard operating procedures, otherwise known as SOPs, for the production team. It outlines the roles and responsibilities of each team member, ensuring consistency, clarity, and excellence in all of our technical aspects of our worship services. These SOPs are designed to support a distraction-free worship environment where the focus remains on glorifying God and serving the church with skill and heart. You can also find a glossary at the end with common terms, definitions, and phrases. Before I go too much further, do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, funny memes about anything I've talked about up to this point? Cool. Purpose. Again, establish clear expectations for each production team position, promote consistency and quality across all services, provide a reference guide for onboarding and training. So as you train people, as we get new people training positions, whether it's somebody new to the team or somebody on the team training in a new position, feel free to refer back to, as you're training them, refer back to this document as you walk through their responsibilities of whatever position you may be training them on. Foster unity and excellence through shared standards, empower you guys as team members to serve confidently and effectively, and then serve as reminders for all of you seasoned volunteers. That is just our mission and vision statement again, so I'll skip that. I've already talked about that tonight. Procedures, so again, just a walkthrough of all of our expectations. That will get updated too. So camera one, folks. As I walk through positions, feel free to tune out if this doesn't apply to you, or stay tuned in if you want to know about the position. So camera one, the purpose of your camera is to provide a steady and reliable visual of the platform throughout the service. Responsibilities. Frame and focus on the lead vocalist during worship, waist up. This is 95% of what you're doing during the time you're serving. Keep the speaker centered during the message. Maintain, again, a waist up shot of the speaker during the message. Perform smooth pan shots when switcher or producer ask for it. Make sure to give some lead in, so like start way off to one side or the other and then move, and then start to move so that the switcher and producer have an idea of, one, what's happening, but two, also can catch you before you're like almost all the way done or even halfway through. Take direction from switcher producer as needed, and then just maintain your shot stability and composition. So all this means is that maintain a stable shot, which should not be hard to do because you're on a tripod. And then your composition of your shot. So commit, if you have a bad shot and you're live, commit to it. Don't try to change it live. Just commit to it. I promise it'll be better if you just commit to it than if you try to change it while you're live. Also, hold your shots for an extra, this goes for all cameras, but hold your shots for an extra 2 or 3 seconds after we switch, so we don't catch you moving while you're still live. Pre-service responsibility, so just arrive by 7:30 on Sunday, check in with the switcher producer, make sure the camera is on, check your power, or check your, power, it means it's on. Check your focus, and then always check your framing. Always check your focus once you have a shot, make sure it's set and looks good, and then always just make sure your framing is good too. So, for camera one, most of the time you're going to be in that middle third with a waist-up shot. If you can do that, you're going to be golden. And then just make sure you're practicing your shots during rehearsal. Yeah, Mark. Oh. This way? Oh, yes. Yeah, so the other thing you should check, for both camera 1 and 2, you guys should just check how tight your tripod is. Make sure you can move left to right and up and down pretty smoothly. Make it smooth. Don't make it too loose where if you let it go, it just goes whoop or whoop. You like the sound effects, Denise? But also don't make it so tight that when you're moving left to right and up and down that it's like jerky herky. Yeah, don't do one of these things. You also don't crank on the tripods either. They are older tripods. It's also, if you have to crank on the tripods, you're too tight. It's too tight. And then, yeah, just post-service, participate in our team debrief. Really, that just means attend it because I know most of the time I do all the talking. Partly to keep it quick, but unless you guys have feedback for me, just be there to attend it. If you need assistance, you can find Ramsey or myself, get to us over comms, or flag us down or something. Cool? Great. Camera 2. So your purpose is to provide creative shots that support storytelling and dynamic engagement. So your responsibilities. Focus on creative compositions and shot variety, so pushes and pulls and pans. Pans I know are a little funky from that angle. Do them sparingly, I guess. I don't know what the right word is for that. But mostly pushes and pulls. Maintain a full body shot of the speaker, so head to toe. A lot of times if I'm switching, I will just say, give me a head to toe shot of whoever the speaker is, so Chris. Give me a head to toe shot of Chris. And then take direction from your switcher producer. And then, as I just mentioned, make sure you check your tilt, your up and down, and your left to right movement as well. Make sure it's not too loose, but not too tight. Again, arrive by 7:30 on Sunday. Early is on time is late. Check in with your switcher producer after prayer. And then practice your shots during rehearsal. The only way cameras, you guys are going to get a feel for your camera is if you actually practice during rehearsal. It also gives switchers and producers a chance to see what your shots are going to look like. As much as you can, prep. Prep them for what you're going to be doing. Stay alert for shot cues from your switcher producer and adjust your framing smoothly if you have to. Try not to adjust it while you're live. Again, commit to a bad shot while it's live and then adjust. But then the other thing, just keep them clean and well composed, which kind of just means the same thing as what I talked about above. And then again, post-service, just participate in team debrief. If you guys need assistance at all, find Ramsey or myself. Again, via comms or flagging us down. You could try smoke signal or carrier pigeon if you want. I'm not sure how well that will work in our room, but just try. Mobile cameras. So your purpose is to capture dynamic on-the-move visuals during worship. Make sure we're using the wheeled tripod, which is always set up for you. If you want to try to use something else, talk to Ramsey or I first, and we can give you the green light, the yes or the no. But for the most part, please plan to use the tripod to get those mobile shots. Grab shots of worship leaders and band that have energy. Keys playing. Lori moving around all around the stage. Other people worshiping, raising their hands. That goes for a congregation too. Getting crowd shots of people raising their hands or groups of people worshiping. Worship team members on stage, really getting into it. I don't have any examples right now, like actual examples you can see. Avoid distracting movements. Guys, I don't know what that means, if I'm being honest. I realize I wrote this. I don't know what I meant by that when I wrote it down. Besides, just don't be distracting. I don't know, I guess it's more common sense than anything. And then, yeah, take direction from your switcher producer on types of shots that they might need, covering a guitar or a vocalist or something. Again, arrive by 7:30 on Sunday. Practice those shots during rehearsal. Some of you newer mobile cam operators, this is a fantastic time to really practice shots on mobile without the pressure of it going out to stream. Even if you want to come on Thursday night, if you can swing it, you can practice your shots on Thursday night too. It really is just kind of less pressure. If you don't practice, you're not going to get better. You're not going to understand the type of shots that we go for. Again, just make sure your camera's on, that your focus is that your camera's in focus, and that your framing is good. Avoid shooting the side screens if you can. If you are gonna try some movement with your camera, make sure it's intentional and make it feel natural. So we've talked about the Bethel shake or the figure 8 before. I know that we haven't done that a whole lot, and I think I want to try to get that back into our rhythm. But just make sure that you keep those movements intentional. And then be respectful of congregation members. People come in late all the time. So if you're moving around the back, just make sure you let those people by. If you know for a fact you're not live and they're going in front of you, tell them that they don't have to duck. Just tell them that they're good to go. And just make sure you're not blocking somebody's way either, especially when you're getting shots from the back of the room. Sometimes we can be in that aisleway or walkway. Just be mindful of where you are, and if people are trying to get around you. Also be mindful of where you are in relation to stage. The subwoofers for our room and our stage, and honestly right now our lighting, really are your points. So where's the subwoofer? It's right here. So you can go as far, I'll actually come down. You can go as far as the subwoofer on this side. Oh yeah, sorry Ramsey, I pulled an audible on you. You go as far as the subwoofer on this side, and the subwoofer on this side. So basically, the very front of these two outer aisles. Yeah. Mobile cams especially, as you guys are up here in front of people, really worship and try to worship. Raise your hands, sing. People will see that and they'll respond. Post-service, just make sure we return the camera to the green room, into the production room, and then make sure you join us on stage for debrief. If you need help with anything, again, find Ramsey or I. I know a lot of times that transmitter gets delayed as service goes on, so if you don't know how to shut it off, we can show you. Questions, comments, concerns, pushback, feedback so far? Yes, no? Cool. Switchers. So your purpose is to manage the live broadcast feed and execute camera transitions. Also switchers, make sure you tune into the producer responsibilities as well. Because a lot of times, well, about half the time we don't have a producer, just due to, it depends on the weekend. But I'd like to get some more people trained in that as well. But sometimes we don't have a producer. So as a switcher, sometimes you're doing what the producer does too. So switchers, operate switcher, computer, and Stream Deck. As you get more comfortable with the Stream Deck, you can kind of just feel your way around it because you kind of know where things are at, and you can start looking up at the either the computer screen or the TVs in front of you. But yeah, switch between cameras and graphics according to flow. Execute your transitions cleanly and on time with the producer. Take direction from the producer. Primarily use that cut button. The producer will make this call 95% of the time. actually all the time the producer's making this call, use that cut button, and then as the producer calls for it, use those fade buttons creatively. Again, arrive at 7:30. Ensure that our system is up and running and that all of your inputs are functioning correctly. So really that just means make sure that we have camera feeds from all 8 cameras. Sometimes Ramsey and I will get cameras set up and we just don't have a feed from them, even though we've got them all plugged in and everything. So if we don't have one, let us know. During rehearsal too, just check those cameras and let us know, or let your producer know if there's cameras that are out of focus or not framed or whatever. So we can get those fixed and set for service. And then, yeah, practice with camera operators during rehearsal. Make sure we're switching shots cleanly, matching the energy of the moment. So if it's really high energy, make sure we're switching to shots that are high energy, catching people worshiping, that kind of stuff. Just maintain consistent visual pacing. So don't hang out on one camera for 30 seconds and then within the span of 10 seconds jump to 3 other cameras. Try to keep it even as much as you can. Make sure that you have camera 8. Kind of just hot switch to it if you need to. But know that camera 8's your safe shot. So whenever we have cameras on stage that could get blocked by a singer backing up or a guitarist moving forward or back out of frame, be ready to just go to camera 8 if one of those shots are live and for some reason somebody backs into it and blocks it, or the guitar moves out of frame. Especially if we don't have another shot ready yet. And then, yeah, switchers, just make sure you're monitoring that live shot. Just kind of like what I talked about for, the subject leaving the frame or somebody blocking it. Join us in debrief after. And if you have questions, comments, concerns, issues, or need help with anything, again, find Ramsey or I. Pro presenter. So, your purpose is to project lyrics, scriptures, and media content with accuracy and timing. Before I dive too much further into this, am I going too fast? You guys good? Cool. Responsibilities. Operate pro presenter slides for worship and teaching. Make sure we're advancing our slides on that last word during worship. And then just make sure we're keeping them in sync with the live service moments, so don't jump ahead and don't lag behind. Be here for Thursday night rehearsal so you can run through slides and get a feel for the playlist, and so that the worship team can practice. Be here by Sunday morning, 7:30 on Sunday morning, and then just make sure we get through all the slides during rehearsal. So Sunday morning especially, check sermon slides, check announcement slides, check videos, make sure whatever is on your run sheet matches with what you see in Pro Presenter. Yeah, again, just advanced slides on the advanced lyrics on the last word there. Sometimes, yes, you do have to, Tim just said you have to go a little quicker than the last word. It depends on the song, depends on how the last word is what the last word is. But that's why that's why I ask you to be here on Thursday, so you can get a feel for all of that. Because a lot of times Sunday morning, we don't run through full songs of everything. So, and just make sure we're staying focused back there. I know sometimes, especially Pro Presenter, it's easy to kind of just doze off, unless there's like a million slides during the sermon. But just stay focused, and that's all, and try not to miss anything. Again, join us in debrief after, and then find Ramsey or I if you need something. Lighting. So lighting is to enhance the visual atmosphere of worship and preaching using Light Key. Everybody knows that we use Light Key, I hope. So just make sure that your cues for worship and speaking moments, whatever you decide to choose, kind of just match the room. All your cues that you need as far as the scenes go are laid out on the run sheet. So if we're in sermon or video or music high or low or mid, all of those cues are on the run sheet, and you know for which song you're doing what. But during rehearsal, make sure you practice those transitions, but also like get a feel for what colors you might use for those songs, and write them down if you need to. Yeah, take direction from the director. A lot of times, director will call us into video, or into greeting, or out of greeting into something else, and into service and out of service. And lighting cues all align with coming into and out of service and video and all that. So just make sure you're listening to the director. Again, just be here on Sunday morning at 7:30 to practice those lighting transitions. Lighting is one of those positions that you can get really creative with and it not be distracting. Like, you can get super creative with lighting and it not be distracting. So Ramsey, I don't know if you want to show some examples, but you can. Our new bars have this fun like chase feature. Unfortunately, it won't match some of the other colors that we have. He's gonna try to work on fixing that, but it might be something that we can't fix. But have fun with lights. You can really engage people with lights. You can flash and like flash on the beat of a cymbal, on the cymbal hit, stuff like that, where people, well, maybe not that fast, but there's some fun things you can do with lighting that will not be distracting. Yeah, don't make it distracting. But again, join us in debrief. And find Ramsey and I if you need assistance. Front of house. Okay, so this is one that I have not changed yet, and I need to, and I'm going to change it while we talk about it. Obviously, front of house engineers, you know that we operate, you have a D-Live console that you are operating on. You guys know our D-Live console. You're mixing worship and speaking elements. Make sure, earlier we talked about you guys being mediators between what's on stage, spoken and sang on stage, to what's heard. Part of that is mixing worship clearly so people can hear vocals. But that's not to say that vocals need to be overpowering. Electric guitars and bass and drums and acoustic and keys all add to that experience. You guys have listened to enough worship music that you kind of understand what I'm talking about. But then, yeah, just speaking elements. Make sure that, like, Chris is heard. There's not a lot of feedback, and that kind of thing. So here's the fun new thing that I have learned in the last year. When we had our audio training, I don't know, way back when, and now it seems like it was a while ago. It was like a 2.5-hour night. I'm so sorry for that. Still, by the way. I had said that levels need to be, and I've said this to you guys too, that levels need to be 92 to 95 dBc because it measured subs. Well, I learned something. dBA is actually what we should be using because that measures perceived loudness. And all of the the OSHA standards are all measured in dBA. So if you look up, I don't even know what would you Google? OSHA sound level guidelines or something. Yeah, Ramsey, I'll get to you in a second. You'll see that it'll come up with a chart for X amount of hours you can listen to music at this level without any hearing damage. Part of this level comes from that, and so I don't remember what the numbers are off the top of my head. But part of these numbers are just this 83 to 87 dBA. Is kind of what we've mixed at for years at this point. It's kind of been that way as long as I can remember, as long as Ramsey and I can remember. How we got there is we actually took a measurement of the drums, just raw in the room, not through the PA. The PA was shut off. We had one of our drummers just sit back there and play. And so when we took that measurement, it measured 73 dBA. And so when we're mixing, we need to mix at least 10 dB louder than 73 to overpower that raw drum sound. And so that's why 83 is the low end, and then 87 being the high end, so we don't have people walk out of the room. We've kind of found that 85-ish to 87 is that like nice happy point where it's not too loud for people, and we don't have people walking out of the room, and we get complaints later that, oh, I had to walk out because it was so loud. That being said, front of house engineers, you'll notice that there's a base heat map taped on the plexi windows back there. Ramsey, I promise I haven't forgot. I'll get to you in a second. Make sure we walk the room. It's really important that when you're mixing at rehearsal, even on Sunday morning during sound check, to walk the room, because those base heat maps tell you where the subs are the hottest in the room. And so if you walk the room and you're like, dang, I'm in a hot spot right now and the subs are really hot, turn the subs down. We've had lots of complaints about that in the past. And so if you get complaints, direct them to me. And I'd be happy to walk them through, walk people through why it is the way it is and where they're sitting. The nice thing too is that, like, if we have complaints, we can say, hey, where are you sitting? And we can look at the map and we can show them that map and they can say, oh, we're sitting here. And we can say, oh, hey, that's actually a hot spot. Try moving over here. But all that to say, just make sure to walk the room and check your levels, especially subs. Just make sure we're not mixing too loud in those hot spots. Yeah, Ramsey.
So I was curious, if dBA is measured as perceived loudness, what is dBc? I know you said something to do with the subs, but what is that used for then besides subs? Do you know?
My understanding is dBc is primarily low end. It measures low end. So anything from, I don't know actually off the top of my head now. But it measures those sub-frequencies, so like your kick drum that sits at like 50, 60 hertz that you really can't hear, but you can feel. The human ear can't hear, but we can feel. dBc measures those levels. So, yeah, otherwise, I'm not 100% sure on that. Yeah, Mark. Oh, yes, thank you for that. So, front of house engineers, if you've mixed anytime recently, you've noticed that we have a new meter. It's on a laptop back there. It's a little bit bigger for you guys to read, which is fantastic. It is, I have it dialed in to read, I don't have it dialed in exact, but it reads 1.5 dB louder than it actually is in room. So it's really pretty close. But take note of that the computer does read 1.5 dB louder than what the room actually is. However, the blue handheld that you guys have seen back there too, you've seen before, that handheld is actually calibrated and correct. So I finally bought a calibrator and got that calibrated so that we have accurate levels. So feel free to use a combination of the computer screen and the handheld meter as you're mixing. But yeah, just make sure you're watching those levels. Again, taking direction from the director. Directors, stand a little bit closer to your front of house engineer. They don't have a comms headset, so they can't hear you over comms. It'll help them time their transitions to and from videos and into and out of service if they can hear you. Front of house, attend Thursday night rehearsal. Be here so you can run sound check and again, get a feel for the mix. Work on your mix. Walk the room. Get a feel for the room. And then Seven Thunder. Wow. Get here at 7:30 on Sunday for prayer, and run the band through sound check and make sure all your inputs are up and working. You should do that on Thursday night too. Make sure your inputs are up and working. I would put more work into your Thursday night rehearsal mix than your Sunday morning. Sunday morning really should just be a quick, do I have signal and is it good kind of thing. It should be like a 15-minute sound check so that we can get going. Really do as much as you can Thursday night with your EQ and gain and compression, so that Sunday morning you're not having to adjust your EQ and gain during sound check. Yeah, just make sure we're adjusting the mix in service and then addressing feedback or imbalances in your mix just promptly. Make sure post-service when we're done, just make sure band and everything is muted, vocals and drums are all muted. Make sure our pre-post music is coming through, and then join us on stage for debrief. Again, if you have questions or issues, find Ramsey or I. Give me a second, I need to get rid of my gum. All right, I know this is a lot of me talking. I'm sorry. But and I know I'm throwing a lot at you tonight, a lot of information. So, again, feel free to ask questions. Stop me if you need clarification, and email or text or call me afterwards if you have questions, need clarification, that kind of stuff. Broadcast. Yeah, Mark. Oh, yeah. As you run front of house and broadcast, just make sure you're always saving your scene or your file so that if for some reason things crash or we lose connection to the board or whatever, that you have the most recent file saved. That way that whatever you've done, you don't lose it all and you have to redo it again, because that's a pain. So broadcast, your purpose is to mix high quality audio for the live stream. Broadcast engineers, use Logic to mix on. We don't have, we have some Waves plugins. We have the ability to have some Waves plugins. So just some more some fun reverbs and EQs and some things that could actually help your mix. If you want to use Waves plugins, let me know, and I can make sure they're up and running for you that weekend. Ramsey has a whole bunch of them. But yeah, if you want to use them, let us know. We can get it set up. Otherwise, use just the stock ones that come pre-installed in there in Logic, which are mostly what you're using anyways already. So your compressor, your EQ, your gain, those are plugins. Your effects, those are all plugins. But yep, that's what you're using to mix and all that. Ensuring that your mix is dynamic and clear and balanced for those online viewers. So again, we're broadcast engineers. You guys are the mediators between what's said and sang on stage to those that are watching online. And so to have that clear so people at home can worship and engage right along with us is really, really important. And then just make sure your levels are between -8 and -5. So right around where the red starts on your on the multi-view meter back there. Make sure we're hitting that so that the folks at home don't have to continually turn up and down their TV every single time we transition to something. Yeah, make sure you're here for Thursday night. Really be here for Thursday night. Go through sound check, EQ people, practice mixing, get a feel for what's going to happen on Sunday. And then, again, come at 7:30 on Sunday for prayer and then practice during rehearsal. Make sure that all your inputs are correct and that they're all showing in Logic. Sometimes Ramsey and I will forget to on-hide something for you, especially if it's like a second acoustic or electric. Or keys that we don't typically use. Sometimes we'll forget to just on-hide it. The day gets away from us, whatever. So just make sure that you have everything you need in there. And then just make sure you're monitoring the mix and adjusting for clarity, and you record both services. Primarily, Ramsey and I use second service recordings when we go back and remix things for YouTube or whatever. But it is nice to have both services in case something went wrong second service or something went wrong first service. And maybe sometimes we decide first service was better. So, and then just make sure you guys are saving that session like I mentioned earlier, and coming to debrief. Yeah, Mark. Oh, yeah. Part of the recording piece, you'll notice in Logic when you're there that there's R and I. So make sure all your I's are solid yellow or orange, so that you can hear all the inputs. And then all your R's are flashing. So that means they're record arms, so that when you hit the big record button in the top, your tracks will actually record and we'll have something. Again, if you have questions or issues, just find Ramsey or I. Say that again. Oh, yes. The R's are on the individual faders. Yeah, so just make sure they're all flashing. They're not, I mean, they are sort of on the groups, but not really. Kind of a thing. So, yeah. Producer. I really should reorganize this and put switcher and producer back to back. I just haven't done that yet. Producers, your purpose is to manage the visual flow and camera shot cloning during our live broadcast. So your responsibilities are literally being, to sum all of that up, the eyes and ears of the switcher. You're calling shots based on what's happening in service. You're maintaining a smooth and cohesive rhythm. You're taking any direction that the director might give you. So usually that's really transitioning from into service, and then like from greeting into sermon bumper, and then out of service. Really, that's all the direction you'll probably get from the director. Make sure we're using ready take verbiage, ready for preview and take for live. The reason I ask us to do that is so that it doesn't matter who's switching or producing. Camera operators know what they're listening for. Anytime a camera operator hears ready camera one, they know that if they're on camera one, their shot is in preview and they're gonna get cut to next. And as soon as they hear take camera one, they know that they're live and not to move, and to not adjust. So, yeah, just to maintain consistency across all of our producers and switchers. Again, make sure we're using cuts as much as we can and using those fades creatively. Again, I love fades for certain songs, and I love cuts for certain songs. But using those, discerning to the best of your ability, but again, primarily using cuts. Again, producers, I will encourage you to be here on Thursday night. Just if you want to be, if you can be. Come on Thursday night, start thinking through camera shots as you see the stage laid out, taking notes about transitions, who's leading what, that kind of a thing. But again, make sure we're reading the roadmap too, and being prepared for what the roadmap has. Yeah, again, review service order. Make sure you guys know what's happening, and starting to prep cameras. And then just, yeah, practicing with camera operators during rehearsal, so they know, they kind of get a feel for your rhythm and your flow, as well as you guys are using that ready take verbiage that just gets nailed into our heads. Again, you're directing the switcher on shot changes, you're keeping up communication with your camera ops, and you're keeping up communication with ProPresenter, whoever's running ProPresenter that week. Yeah, and then having camera 8 ready to use whenever you have a shot on stage that somebody can back into or step in and out of, so you have a safe shot to kind of cut to. But then, yeah, continue to look ahead for the next shot while the switcher kind of focuses on what's happening live. And then again, participate in debrief, and then find Ramsey or I if you have questions or comments or concerns. Directors, your purpose is to provide overall leadership and coordination for the production team during service. So you'll oversee the entire team. You will lead service run-through, kind of make sure we're talking through who's leading what as they go through rehearsal, transitions and those kind of things, and then just making sure that we're aligned across all of our roles, make sure everybody knows what they're doing. So talking through, making sure that our producers and switchers know what camera shots are coming, when they should have a camera on who, especially when we get to songs that the lead changes. Directors, you guys are kind of crucial to lead changes in songs. So like in a bridge, say, I don't know, Lori leads the choruses and Jeff leads everything else. It's kind of important for you guys to kind of help the producer know that what's coming up next. So saying, hey, Lori's gonna take lead in 3 slides. Lori's gonna take lead in 2 slides. Jeff's gonna take the lead back in 2 slides. Let's make sure we have a camera there. Those kind of just reminders to our producers and switchers. It actually also reminds cameras too of who's leading what and when they're leading. And then, yeah, you're just really monitoring flow and assist and helping resolve any issues, which primarily we don't have a whole lot of issues. Yeah, and then you're kind of defaulting to me in a sense for things that you might not know. So default to me and whatnot. Again, come at 7:30 on Sunday. If you can be here on Thursday, cool. I'm not going to require you to be, but you can be here and take some notes on Thursday. Be here. Make sure you know what the run sheet has, and walk through all of our areas. Kind of just check in with the team. Make sure we're understanding what our roles are for that Sunday. Check the cafe. Check the family room. Make sure that I did my job and got those things turned on, because most Sundays recently, I've not got out to the cafe or the family room. So just kind of make sure that those areas are up and running for people to sit in during service, and that it's working like they're supposed to. But then, yeah, just take a walk through and check in with the team. Mark, do you have something? Yeah, and that's good. And so Mark had said that what he likes to do is he likes to talk to whoever's leading worship that weekend. If they're going to talk at all between songs, or if there's any special transitions, or really anything that affects us on our end that they're doing that wasn't laid out in the roadmap, or something that Jeff and Lori said. A lot of times on Sunday morning, it's figure out if whoever's praying is going to greet, or if it's going to be somebody different. Ironically enough, but yeah, just checking with the worship team and making sure that as a director, you're as prepared as you can be to kind of lead the team through service. But yeah, just keeping an eye on what's going on in service with production. So check in front of house audio, walking out to the cafe and checking the audio out there. And then also keeping an eye on the multi-view every so often, and seeing what cameras we have on what, and giving gentle reminders as needed to switchers and producers. But then, yeah, just kind of step in and help where help is needed. If that's somebody's going away from a camera to take a bathroom break, or if they need to just kind of step away and worship for a minute, directors, you guys can kind of step in and fill that role. And most Sundays, I can step in and fill in that director position for you if you need to step in and help fill another position for someone. Again, post-service, join our debrief after service, and then, yeah, a lot of our directors are really great at, all of our directors are really great at encouraging and supporting everybody else in what we do. So just even giving little encouragements during service is great too. Production assistance. So it's in the title. Your purpose is to assist the production team by kind of running tasks and providing quick support during service. So kind of just be available to support the director and the team as needed. Whether it's running messages or like items between roles, so waters, coffees, that kind of thing. And then addressing practical needs or equipment issues. Not that really ever happens, but kind of just being available to help assist me if I have something I need a hand with, or Ramsey. But yeah, come here at 7:30 on Sunday, and then check in with Ramsey or I for specific assignments. Every Sunday that you're on, you will be responsible for moving the table on stage. Just make sure you're ready for that. But otherwise, I'll let Ramsey or I will let you know if we have specific responsibilities for you on that Sunday. So part of the production assistant too, what I want to get to a point where everybody who's in that role can jump in to any position and fill in quick if we need to. That would be part of that assistant title. I realize that's not really the case right now with some people, but I want to get to a point where whoever's in that role can kind of just jump in and switch or produce or jump on camera or direct if they need to. And then, yeah, just find Ramsey or I if you need assistance with something. Review and revision process. So to ensure that the live stream production team SOPs remain current and effective, this document will undergo regular review and updates as needed. The document will be reviewed biannually every 6 months or sooner if major changes occur in equipment, software, or service structure. The responsibility that falls on me. I'll oversee the review process, but all the revisions get approved by Jeff, Ramsey, and myself before they actually get implemented. Usually it's a conversation with them, or I send them an email and say, hey, can you check this over and send me feedback or anything. Feedback, you guys as volunteers are encouraged to submit feedback or suggestions at any time via a shared feedback form. See the QR code at the end of this document, or if you're on the document, you can actually click on the link to it. But it looks like this, and I'll make that bigger for you. But yeah, so write your email in here, tell me what position it's for, and then give me the comments on it. So this is a great way if there's something we had a conversation about after service or something needs to be changed. This just helps me to see it in wording, because we'll have a conversation on Sunday after service, and sometimes by the time we get to Tuesday or Wednesday and I get around to thinking about that conversation and going to actually like take care of whatever comments you've given me, a lot of times I forget some details, and so to have it written out in the way that we talked about it is really, really helpful. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, I can absolutely put this QR code on the wall in the production room too. It's also in all of your folders at all the positions. So you can pull it out as your position too if it's on Sunday morning, so you don't have to be in the production room to scan it. Woohoo, that got a lot bigger. Hello. Back out. Urgent changes or corrections may be made between scheduled reviews if approved by the above team. Really, that's if we have major equipment changes or major service structure changes, or if there's a major position change or major position responsibility changes. Part of this night actually came out of a conversation I had with Ross a couple weeks back, and we were just talking after service, and he was like, yeah, you've kind of given camera one too much creativity. And I said, yeah, you're right. I should go back and like refine that a little bit. And it just come out of some frustrations that like I'm sure others have had, but he had brought up to me. So that part of this night actually stemmed from that conversation. But also I realized during that conversation, hey, I never I never really did explain any of this whole document to you guys. So thanks, Ross, for having that conversation with me. Because honestly, I probably wouldn't have thought about it if you didn't mention it. So thank you. The revision log, it's at the end of the document to just so you guys can see what updates have been made. Really, it's more of an accountability thing for me, saying that if something happens, one, I've done it, and two, it's been reviewed and implemented by Ramsey, Jeff, and myself. So that you guys know that if I say I'm going to do something or change something or update something, that I'm actually going to do it. Which is where that feedback form really comes in handy, so that I have those things at the top of my mind. And I'm being reminded of what I gotta change on there. Again, I've not got to this top bullet point yet, but any of the SOPs any updated ones will be redistributed. It's on my to-do list. I'm gonna get that done as soon as I have a free moment to get that done. I'm not occupied by other things. As volunteers, you guys are you're kind of expected to review and implement those changes as soon as you can. So really, that's as soon as you're serving in that position next. And I will send out an email. I will try to send out an email with some of those changes. With any of those changes, but I might even do a meeting or a video that kind of walks through any significant updates. So I haven't done a great job of doing that yet, but I will get better, I promise. Here's the revision log. I'm just going to kind of slide past it, but feel free to look at that if you want to see all the changes that we've made. So glossary and comms cheat sheet. So this will probably just get updated on the regular as we go week to week and I come across more terms that we commonly use and what they mean. My hope is that this page will be printed and posted in a visible spot at every position, so that you guys can kind of just glance over and reference it. Especially if you're training people, you don't have to dig through the folder, pull it out, and go, oh, yeah, that's what that means. Okay, and then explain it. My hope is that you can kind of just point to it, which would be great. Kind of the same thing. If I have the ability and room to do it, I will do that with your with the positional sheets too. So you can kind of just point to it and say, hey, here's your responsibilities. Let's talk through it, but refer back to it. But yeah, so a lot of these terms you guys know, but push, slowly zoom the camera in to make the subject appear closer. Pull is the exact opposite. Slowly zoom the camera out to make the subject appear wider. Take means the switcher is about to put a camera live or source. And so like an example would be take camera 1. Ready is a warning to prepare a camera or source to go live next. And during ready, the switcher will put the camera or source in preview. So for example, ready camera 1. Yeah, Ramsey.
Hello. There we go. When you said that about take and ready, could you scroll up a little, please?
Yeah.
With take, when you say the switcher is about to put a camera or source live, that kind of makes me think of ready.
Is that too confusing?
I think so. I don't mean to correct you in the middle of this, but I'm just...
No, that's just what I want. If it seems confusing, like, to me, I think that makes sense. I always say I think it makes sense because it's the action that's happening that's going to happen. I realize there's going to be a little bit of a human delay in there. We're not going to be, like, the producer isn't going to say take and the switcher is going to hit cut as soon as... The switcher can't read the producer's mind, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
That's a good point. I think, in my opinion, I want to hear from Ross and Mark and Denise and the video people. In my opinion, I think it would make more sense if you removed about to and just changed put to putting. So the switcher is putting a camera or source live.
Do you guys make sense? Agree? Okay, cool. Let me change that.
Sorry, I don't know. I just thought, to me personally, that felt a little confusing.
This is good because what makes sense to me doesn't always make sense to you guys. Like that?
I think so. I don't know, whatever everyone else thinks. Great. This isn't just about me, but.
That makes sense to you guys? Cool. Great. This is why we do this.
Thanks for being a good sport.
Yeah. What makes sense to me doesn't make sense to you guys. Because obviously I think differently than all of you. So, cool. Ready? Already talked about that. Pan, moving your camera left or right across stage. So this is your horizontal movement. Tilt is moving your camera up and down. So this is your vertical movement. Iris on camera 1 and 2 is adjusting how bright or dark the image is, which is your exposure. That's the ring furthest from you on cameras 1 and 2. Yeah, Mark. Is closest? Dang it. Should have known that. I should have double checked that. Is the ring that is closest to you on cameras 1 and 2? Yeah. That's a great idea, Ross. I should definitely take pictures and label them like that. Yes. I'll do that. I'll work on that. Closest to you. Thank you, Google, for correcting my grammar. Mobile cams, ISO. This is ISO on mobile cam. So again, it's just adjusting how bright or dark the image is. Comms cheat sheet. So this is good. So the goal of booth. Nope. Booth should not be in there. The goal of communication is to be clear, calm, and predictable. We keep communication short and consistent so everyone knows what to expect. Oh gosh, I need to wrap this up. So our standard flow of communication for producer switcher is ready, action, confirm. So ready, camera 2 would be the action, and then the confirm is optional for camera operators. You can say, yeah, I'm ready to your producer switcher. You really don't have to. It's like air traffic control. Ready, camera 2. Yeah, I'm ready. Take camera 2. Okay. You can confirm as a camera operator if you want to. That's up to you. If that makes you feel better, great, but you don't have to. But yeah, ready, camera 2, take 2. Or ready, camera 2, take camera 2. But yeah, Mark. Oh, yeah, you can tilt your camera up and down to nod your camera yes, or tilt your camera or move your camera side to side to tell the producer no. That's what you know. You can do that too. But this gives camera operators time to prepare before going live. Yep. Yeah, so sometimes Mark was saying that some camera operators will, this is more common during the message than it is during worship. Some cameras will put it to the floor or off to the side. Will actually turn their camera that way so that when the producer switcher says ready camera 1, they can just grab their camera and you see it move. And that lets you know that they're ready. So example phrases. In switching / producing, you'll say ready camera 1. Camera 1 should prepare to be live next while the switcher puts camera 1 in preview. Take 1. Camera 1's live and the switcher cuts to camera 1. Directing. There's not a lot of terms that directors that we use a whole lot that are common that we really use every service. But one that I find as when I'm directing helpful is standby. I've heard it I've used it before. I don't know if you guys have picked up on it before as I've directed, but I'll use standby, and I've also picked that up from working Whitecaps games. So standby just means be prepared for an upcoming change or next item in service. A lot of times you'll use a standby or a hold if there's something that like a spontaneous worship moment. Like at the end of service, say Chris isn't moving yet. Directors, you can say hold here, hold here, hold here. Or at the beginning of service, if whoever's doing announcements is late coming out on stage, you can say hold, hold, hold here, and then go from there and give direction as you see whoever's supposed to do announcements come out on the stage. Standby is great for table. It's especially great for table. You can say standby for moving table, or standby table, or standby, I don't know, standby something. You can also say standby for like the next thing. So instead of saying, hey, Lori's leading the next song and we've got a keys intro, you can say standby Lori, standby keys. And that kind of just, that signals to people to be prepared for, hey, this is the next thing that's coming up. Or stand by trust in God if that's the next song. Does that make sense? Cool. I think it'd be good if you guys, directors, if you guys started using the standby, and then if you just start to use it, we'll start to get used to it, and we can work out the bits and pieces from there. Camera movement. So these should always be slow and smooth, unless told otherwise. So most common terms you'll hear are push in or start a push, which means you zoom in gradually, as I talked about earlier. Pull out or start a pull, same thing, zoom out gradually. Pan left or pan right, move your camera left or right. Tilt up or tilt down means move your camera vertically. And then exposure would be opening the iris, which a lot of switchers, producers, you will say either open iris, depending on what camera you're talking to. If you're talking to 1 and 2, it'll be open iris. If you're talking to mobile, you'll say open ISO. Or the opposite of that would be close iris, close ISO, which just means you're making the image darker. Oh, check focus would be a good one. Yeah, check focus, check framing. Yeah. Here's that QR code for the feedback form. It's not going to fit on my screen right now. There. There's the QR code for the feedback form. I'll get that posted in the production room, but it is in all your binders and folders. Guys, that was a lot. And I am way over, as you can see. I am far over where I wanted to be. But do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything I can help clarify after any of that? Oh, yeah. Mark was just saying, if you can't make the debrief, just let Ramsey or I know. Usually it's not an issue. If you got to get going for something, you got to get going. Life happens. Yep, it just makes debrief start faster. So with that being said, too, try to get on stage for debrief as promptly as possible, so we can get it started and get you guys out of here. Cool. You guys don't have any questions, comments, and concerns? Feedback, funny memes? Jerky herky? It just goes whoop or whoop. Jerky herky? Jerky herky? Oh my, herky. Ramsey. It just goes whoop or whoop. It just goes whoop or whoop. What a great way to end the night. On a very sideways camera. So, oh, there's one more. Great. I guess I'll wait. Do you? I don't know. I don't know about this one. Okay, all funny moments. Can you hurry up back there? Well, good. While he's working on that, then I will. I'll pray us. I'll pray us out of here, and you guys are free to go. Lord, thank you for tonight. Thank you for getting us all here safe, and thanks for a time to get together and walk through mission, vision, values, why, expectations, standard operating procedures, all the information, Lord, so that we can better honor and glorify you through serving in tech, and so that we create distraction-free environments so that people can be transformed and encountered by you. Lord, I pray you get us all home safe tonight, and that we wake up feeling refreshed tomorrow, and we can have a relaxing day heading into Sunday. All this I ask in your name.